You're listening to a Mash Those Buttons podcast. Visit mashthosebuttons.com for a full podcast schedule.
Cargo secured. Extraction complete. Intelligence system analytic computer is activated. All ISAC systems are confirmed online. Data scanned. Downloading files.
What's up, guys? You listen to episode 60 of SITREPLuke, giving you the news and other happenings in the world of the Division. This week we're talking about Commendations and some of the other happenings in the gaming world at E3 this week. But first, my name is Mike, and joining me are my co-hosts, Robert.
Hello.
And Luke.
Oi.
As I'm sure you'll know from that voice, Luke is not here at the minute. He's out on his sunny travels out in the Dominican Republic at the minute. So we have a guest this week. Remy, thanks for joining us, man.
Hi, everybody. It's me, not Luke. How's it going?
It's going the best. But yeah, guys, what have we all been up to? Rob, I'll go to you first, man.
Lots of divisioning. That's pretty much all I've done this week. I got hosted by Wids while playing the Division this week. Pretty proud of that.
Yeah, you were pretty happy about that, weren't you, man?
Until my internet took a shit, and then, well, no, it wasn't. It was Twitch took a shit and kicked everyone out of the chat, which is a bit annoying.
Yeah, it sounds like a running theme on this podcast at the minute with things taking a shit. Remy, what have you been up to this week, man?
Well, I actually took a shit. No, I'm just kidding. No, I've been traveling a lot, so that's been kind of fun. I've been watching E3 coverage and making my usual jokes that either people like or send me angry messages about. So that's always good. It means I'm doing my job as a comedic writer, which is something I've been trying to get back into recently. Because I used to write comedy for some local comics where I lived, and one of them actually opened up for Louis C.K. with a couple of my jokes and took credit for it, but that really pissed me off. But what are you gonna do?
It's all good, I guess. But I've played Overwatch to death over the weekend. They finished off the anniversary event with a double XP weekend, and I've been playing. I finally jumped in competitive with a team, and it's brutal. It's kind of like, I would have said Destiny's Trials, but with 6 people and without the elimination. So it's nothing like Trials, but that kind of atmosphere and communication is definitely required. So
yeah,
is the playstyle different as well?
It's weird because you can go jump in quick match on Overwatch or quick play, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing, chilling out. The minute you jump in competitive, everyone's kind of oh my god, there's a guy over there on the left, heal me, do this, that, and the other. And I know you should probably play it like that in quick play, but the minute you jump in competitive, it's really
competitive.
It's really competitive. It's really weird how you see people strangely change their whole perception because they want to win the match, and that it's really good.
My 9-year-old actually plays competitive, but he solo queues and he hates it because he solo queues. And I said, honey, you can't solo queue. You got to find people to play with. He's like, but I don't have friends online. I was like, oh, honey.
There was a dude we were playing with this week, and he finally jumped in competitive mode, and then he went in on his own. And I was like, why'd you go in on your own? He's like, I don't care. And I was like, oh, okay. Some people just don't care, I guess, at the end of the day.
Yeah, I mean, to answer Rob's question too, it's like Trials sweaty, but if you solo queue, it's way more frustrating. Especially for me, because all of a sudden I'm in constant fist of panic mode from Destiny, where I'm just all right, who am I going to fist of panic first? I'm like, wait, I'm playing Overwatch. But it's kind of like that feeling where you really want to play well, especially if you're a PC player, because people are really, really good at competitive on PC. That's not a joke. It's that laser pinpoint, high DPI mouse accuracy shit, and the problem with all that is that all of a sudden you get messages saying that you're trash or anything on BattleNet. It's like, oh my god, just stop. So I actually disabled messages.
It's meant to be fun. Yeah, it's meant to be fun, and I think it's a lot more fun than Trials. It's not as sway, but the only difference is you do see people. We made a whole team quit over the weekend, and it was like, whoa. And the good thing about Blizzard is they've actually brought in the ban hammer. So like if you quit a match before the end of the game, you get banned for like a certain time period.
Yep.
Which is kind of cool that they do that.
Happened to my kid.
But, yeah.
He rage quit an elimination 3v3 match because one of the guys that kept playing as Hanzo, like this isn't like a Hanzo joke or anything, or like my son's distaste of Hanzo. It's just the dude just sat in like Eco Point, Antarctica, like at the starting base for like 2 minutes. And my kid's like, I'm not going to carry this guy. And he just left the game. And he's pretty cocky. I'm working on that with him though.
Oh, nice. Just before we leave Overwatch, I guess definitely go check out Watchpoint Radio if you're a fan of Overwatch. And I think the game's still quite cheap at the minute, so go pick it up. It's good fun. Before we move on, there is a new speed challenge for you this week, guys, from us, and that's to kill the most named bosses before the reset at the end of this weekend. The only catch is it's in the DZ, and as Luke would say, grab your get good pants and get out there and kill some named bosses. Just make sure to take a screenshot of the DZ leaderboard ranking and send it to us over on Twitter with hashtag SITREPDZ. I think that's it.
This kind of goes well with the special event this weekend, doesn't it?
Yeah, we'll talk about it in a minute. So let's get on with some news.
State of the game.
So first up, to let you guys know, there is an event for the Division going on this weekend. And as Rob said, it's running from June 16th to June 19th. And what is that event, Rob?
Extra rewards from named bosses.
So
yeah,
yes. More loot for Aladdin's cave, more loot that you can't handle, carry, or I can't anyway.
Backpack, more loot than you can backpack.
That's the one. More loot to play that game we all love to play.
Inventory management, the game.
Can't wait. No, honestly, go check it out. Go get involved with the not speed challenge, DZ challenge this week, and get some awesome rewards. I expect you'll get some decent maybe some exotic caches from there.
Maybe a Caduceus?
I guess.
Huh? Everyone needs a Caduceus, right?
Well, you think it's probably have higher drop rate in DZ as well. So go run the challenge. See what happens. Anyway, Rob, we had some maintenance today.
Yeah. They fixed a bug with the recovery link where it wouldn't work properly, and then it wasn't on call when it's on cooldown or something. I don't really know, or experience that. So
apparently, it's just like a random bug that caused it to cool down faster than all the other ones, or something. I hadn't seen this happen, so lucky for me, I guess.
And there was another bug they fixed. Well, they've kind of patched it. They're going to fix it properly. The next client patch is like a bit on Midtown Music where you can like get in the building, but just by running into a wall and and still shoot out. I've seen a few videos of it in YouTube. It's quite bad.
I was going to say, there's definitely not been any manhunts heading that way then.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what people have been using it for, like getting a manhunt, going there. Jobs are good.
The best. But yeah, nice to see they've actually fixed that, and pretty quick by the sounds of it as well. But yeah. So, guys, this week's State of the Game, as I'm sure you're all aware of, is covering Commendations this week, which were previously known as feats. What are your first thoughts on this, guys? Remy, I'll go to you first, man.
Based on State of the Game, and I just want to paint the scene of how it actually went down. So Hamish showed up talking into a Black Yeti in front of like a brick wall with some light switches and a computer, and it made me very much think of like really early like Jerry Seinfeld comedy acts or something like that, where he's always like in front of that brick wall. And I was really hoping that's what they were going for, and I was highly let down that they did not utilize that at all. But otherwise, they went through Commendations, which I guess were interesting. it's kind of like they even explained it like too, which was kind of funny where they're talking about like, yeah, it's kind of like achievements in World of Warcraft. I'm like, yep, okay, yep. Those achievements are in other games as well, but I guess most people would know those from World of Warcraft. And like you can get some different rewards from stuff like that, but it's all about those sweet, sweet patches that go right over your bicep.
Yeah, so there's like 500 of these. Rob, was there any that stood out to you on the stream that you can remember?
There's one for shutting doors on cars.
The best?
Which is already like a PlayStation
exclusive?
No, like achievement thing. But it's very much like a Destiny record book in the way that you get a patch instead of an emblem or but they've just gone nuts with it and put 500 in. Some of them are going to be daft, I reckon, but because they said that on stream, like some of them are a bit silly.
That's what we're hoping for. In Diablo 3, there's achievements like there's an enemy named Zoltan Kull who's like a mini boss in Act 2, and Zoltan space Kulle, and you get an achievement if you beat him in like 10 seconds. It's called Cool Story, bro. So I'm hoping to see like a lot of those kind of commendations because, I mean, to be honest with you, the only reason I hunt these things down in achievements for Diablo 3 is just if people look at my profile, they can see how big my EP is, and B, because I really like the names of some of them. And Blizzard has done like a bunch of these great over the years, and I always kind of go back to Blizzard, but I'd be interested to see what their staff was when they were feeling clever enough to create some of these, and like how much they're going to make me giggle when they pop up, because like I don't care, like I'll wear a stupid patch with a pig on it as long as it's called, a squeal or something like that. And what happens is you squeal, of course, is when you die in the underground to 2 seconds by a shotgunner. So hopefully that's a real thing, because that'll be a great patch.
I'm trying to think if any of them stood out to me, but like, shout out to Tom who actually made these over at Newcastle Reflections. 500 of them, man. That's a lot.
It does worry me a little bit. Like, there are some serious ones, like running legendaries flawlessly. Like
Dragon's Nest flawless.
Yeah, like is that like if you try and matchmake and you haven't got the right patch on, it's going to cause some elitism. Maybe, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I've got a picture of it up here, and it's got like recent activities, and I'm guessing these are to do with commendations, but like at the bottom it's I don't know, it says last man standing. I was like, man, I wish that was applicable to a battle royale mode, but that's a different podcast episode. Yeah, these seem pretty good. 500 different patches though. That's more unbelievable. I can't believe they've got 500 different ones. That's a lot.
Somebody was feeling really good with the pixel art, I'm assuming, because I'm assuming that that's what we're going to have a lot of, is like, there's going to be pixel art ones and like vector ones and like cool logo looking ones, the really bad purposely made logo ones, and I can't wait. So that's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's going to be good. I will say now, the vanity slot that we have all been speculating on, as we said, is a patch and not a tactical cup or a wristwatch, by the looks of it. At the minute, anyway.
What, so do you reckon these are going to have stats? These patches are going to have stats then?
I don't know.
I think they're just cosmetic.
I don't think so. No, I think that might be something else. So we might still get the watch, like you said, Remy.
Or the cod piece, which you said.
Well, you never know. Sweet cod
cod
piece.
Watch.
Tactical cod watch.
Yes.
Cod watch.
Hold on, let me check the time.
It's just like it's junk. But yeah, these are all coming in 1.7. So I guess we'll just have to hang tight for those combinations and try to think what else. Yeah, there's a PTS coming, isn't there, guys? There's well, we hope there's a PTS coming. They're still working their asses off to get it in the game. I guess the PTS is going to go live the minute we have confirmation, I guess, or they get confirmation.
This is the console one too, because I believe Gabe, when they were showing gameplay, was on the console build for the PTS. I'm unsure though.
Yeah, because didn't he get told off on stream for like, you shouldn't be on the console or something like that?
Yeah, like some script was on the screen. And I imagine people have screenshotted that and like trying to decode it.
Cool. I can't wait for the 95 YouTube videos that'll follow.
Yeah.
I can't believe they've got this in the game. That's not in the game, bro. It's fine. Just some final thoughts on this week's state of the game. So, it was thrown to Terry. How did you say it, Remy? Terry Spear?
I said spear, but it's spire.
Spire. Whether they're going to try and address whether they think Seekers and Deadeye are a problem, and if they're going to get looked at during the PTS in 1.7. Guys, do you think they are an issue, Rob?
Yeah. I don't know. It's a lot of people are moaning about them, but I don't know. I don't know whether they're OP or not. It's hard to judge.
I kind of agree with the situational awareness thing a little bit because I ran Seekers. But the thing is, like, when you run Seekers, you have to have situational awareness. Obviously, you're the one throwing them, but you can't just run in there behind them, can you? Because otherwise you can get potentially set on fire. So it's kind of pointless unless you've got a one-shot build. As with Deadeye, I don't think Deadeye is broken at long range, but I have seen like a lot of people manage to take me down within like 10 foot away, which shouldn't be happening.
You said with Deadeye?
So,
I'm sorry, I zoned out thinking about eating this Frito.
No, it's common.
Very cool.
Enjoy that burrito.
I'm gonna. But yeah, no. Like, I actually just watched a YouTube video today that was. I was going to say this for Bombshell Jackets, but this is a good point to bring it up since we're talking about it. It's a guy who, if you're familiar with Foghorn Leghorn of Looney Tunes fame, he sounds just like that, and it's almost the same like Southern drawl and mild stutter. And I'm not making fun of his stutter because I have one too. It's just very hard to tell. I catch it a lot, so I stopped talking. But this dude was going off about how, and I love this video because he's basically like yelling at me personally. He plays a Deadeye build, and he was talking about how he hates people that use shield and the Seeker Mines. And I actually came up with like a Sentry's Call build with a shield and like everything else to like really just kind of be like as, I don't want to say as trolling as possible in Last Stand or the DZ. I haven't tried it in the DZ yet, but I have tried it in Last Stand. And I actually used it in PvE today in Underground. And like, it's really, really trollish. But yeah, so I'm one of the people who's making fun of where I'm using a shield and Seeker Mines. And like, I'm not one-shotting people because you can't really one-shot with Seeker Mines right now. It doesn't matter how high your skill power is. But, you know, if you're using the shield and the Seeker Mines, it is pretty trollish. The guy's right. But, I mean, the dude's playing a Deadeye build, and he's complaining about shields because he's using a Deadeye build. And that's basically what it was at that point.
Well, that's the thing, though, isn't it? Because if Deadeye and like Seekers get nerfed, the next thing that's really strong is the shield build.
Yeah, we came up across that this week, didn't we?
Yeah, like, so it's just, I don't know whether like Deadeye you could make it bolt action only, and maybe they need to make the fire effect on Seekers different because it's not technically fire effect because you can't be immune to it. Like, it's different to the normal like flame grenades and stuff like that. I don't know.
Which, by the way, Seeker Mines in Underground, speaking of the fire thing, I don't know if you're aware of this, but you guys should go out down there and try this again, because I know it's been a while since you probably went to UG. But just go do any Underground map and throw the Seeker Mines out and watch people catch on fire and not stand in place, but run away and then start screaming from behind cover. Like, it is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. And I'm not saying that negatively. I'm just saying like one guy out of the 6 people that were all in a pack, like, are on fire. And like the one guy's the only one who's like, oh my God, I'm on fire. And like the other ones are behind like cover saying, ah, it's like, what is, you all should be right there. I
experienced that this week, actually. Me and Mike were farming in the DC, and he was using Seekers, and like, they just like randomly scream sometimes. It's just so funny.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I blew that one guy up into the air and he was like, or some shit. I don't know what the hell was going on. But yeah, I mean, you're right. I still think there's a lot of diversity. I'm loving loadouts and the amount of different builds that they've brought into the game as well, because people are like, because it's so easy to switch them over. But there is definitely a couple of things that probably need a little bit more balance. But I think the other thing as well.
That's the trouble. You nerf something and then something else rises to the top, and then everyone moans about that. It's just
I think something that might actually change the meta a little bit is bringing other weapons back into the fold. Though LMGs aren't used at all. Though I did see like I think it's Hungry Hog builds being like brought into the mix at the minute, because I got tucked down by Hungry Hog build in Last Stand the other day. I was like, whoa, what the hell's going on here? So there's that. It'd be nice to see. I think one of my favorite weapons in the game is like the L86, and it's not really viable for anything
because it got nerfed because it was OP.
Sweet OP L86. Just a quick thought. Obviously, if Terry Spire is in control of what's happening with the PTS, do we think Thailand is like not off the project, but like AFK with regards to like weapon balancing and things like that?
Working on a different game, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. I follow him on Twitter, I'm pretty sure, and I haven't seen him tweet in a bit. So, he may be replying to people, and I'm just not noticing because I don't follow the people he's replying to. But yeah, I don't know where Fred Thigh, the weapons guy, is right now.
Yeah, it's sad to hear he might not be working on it, but we don't know. We don't know what's going on in the background. So if you're working on it, let us know, dude. Also brought up very quickly, huge lag issue. It's all over Reddit. You'll see it everywhere, I guess. Which we kind of had, I guess, finally some confirmation why there is lag, which is basically due to the fact that they're trying to keep players in games that are populated, as in the servers are fully populated, which means they're dragging players from all over. So I'm sure you've seen people from all over in your games.
Yeah.
This also means
that
sorry, I was just going to say this also means that we kind of have a bit of a downside to this, don't we, guys? There ain't so many people playing.
Yeah, that's going to say the player base has gotten a little bit smaller, so they're having to pull people from other servers to fill the servers up.
Which is very evident on PC right now, which I'm sure Rob can also attest to.
Yeah, I was in the Dark Zone the other day, and it was just kept rubber banding all over the place.
Oh, was it? Yeah, I've heard a lot of people basically shout that it's like console is keeping this game alive at the minute, because there's still quite a lot of people on console playing this game. There's like Division groups out there, you know.
I'm a mob for one of them, which, as it turns out,
I
didn't know I was. But Facebook sends me notifications once in a while saying, "Hey, this person wants to do things." I'm like, "Cool, I didn't know." No, I'm just kidding. It's fine. But sorry. No, please go ahead.
I can definitely attest the fact that the PlayStation, there's more players on there. Like, well, especially when you're matchmaking, it's very apparent.
Last stand queues on PC are horrific.
Yeah.
I go on PS4, go into Last Stand, I'm in a game almost immediately. So, I mean, there's the console section, despite anyone with a PC Master Race card, the age-old joke, the console players are very much keeping this game alive at the moment.
Yeah, which we're all thankful for, I would say. We're still, I think I said I can't remember if I said it on last week's podcast or if it happened this week, but I get asked like how often I play this game, and I'm pretty much playing it every day. If I'm not, I would jump off for about a day and go play Overwatch and then come back the following day. It's not for long, so the thing is, we're in a bit of a weird community because everyone we know is still playing the game, but there's obviously people outside our borders that are playing other games as well. But yeah, at the end of the day, hopefully 1.7 will bring the player base back, because everything that we've discussed so far with regards to seasons and commendations isn't the be all end of. We've got other stuff to be announced, which I know a lot of people are excited about.
Yeah, they said Redstone next week, didn't they? So that would be interesting.
Yeah, see, I've got high hopes for that. kind of hope it's Last Stand stuff.
No,
But I don't know.
It won't be.
No? You don't reckon it'd be new game modes? Be easy enough to do
Nope.
new game modes for Last Stand, no?
No, I'm 1.7, dude.
We'll see.
1.8 maybe.
We'll see.
I know a lot of people really want that the small quarters PvP matches, and I don't think those are going to be 1.7. I think those might be 1.8, but who knows? Like, I could be totally freaking wrong. But I think the only thing that I don't like about Last Stand is like, you can kill yourself with a grenade and basically teleport to B really quick. That I've never been a big fan of, but it's really hard to turn off like friendly grenades in, you know, a realistic RPG shooter game. So
I think that's one thing I don't like so much is the fact that you can get killed by your own stuff, which is really weird. Like, you can get killed by your own flame turret, and well, not so much flame turret, but like seekers and grenades and things like that. Yep.
I like that when I threw a grenade out at a group of people, I had forgotten that Eidolon was wearing Final Measure, and all of a sudden I saw him pick up my grenade. I was like, shit, I just gave him a flame grenade. God damn it. But also, in retrospect, like, that could also be kind of abusive too, where if somebody's just running a straight up grenade build, like, you can just keep feeding them grenades that they don't
Keep
have.
spamming
them. So, I mean, Final Measure, it takes 8 seconds for that proc, so to get off cooldown. So that could be a little abusive, I guess. I don't really know. I haven't really formulated that one out yet, but, you know, it could be interesting.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I'm on the show, like, I just kill the flow because you guys are like, I wonder what
No, I was just going to leave a real awkward pause in
Yeah.
there for no reason. we
what
like
we do, we're
awkward
British.
pauses. Yeah. No. And shout out to Edelon as well. Dude was on, what was it? Ubisoft's Creations Showcase video. I can't remember what the name of it was, but yeah, he was on there for his Division cosplay, which is pretty awesome.
On the E3 one, too. Like, right during
that's the one I meant.
I was like, oh, man, the guys called him Idolid. Idolid Fox.
Idolid. We just call him Steve.
Yeah.
It's not his name, but that'll do. Anyway, let's move on to talking about E3. Let's move on to some E3 discussion. So E3 was over the last week. Is it still going on now? I think it ends today.
It's still
It
going.
ends today. Still going. You can't kill it.
Yeah, the game floor is still going on. I think people are still, like, out partying pretty much, which is what E3 has become. Like, you don't really need to go to the event to experience everything. You can basically go to bars afterwards and drink with your buddies that are also in the media and or also in the industry, I suppose, and get drunk and listen to them ramble about it and experience that way. No lines, no hassle, no fuss.
Or just watch the 24-hour-a-day Twitch stream they have.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's like the only time developers kind of get together and actually get to hang out from different studios. Well, not the only time, but, you know, it's a huge time of year, and I guess it's basically a huge hangout for, you know, development teams out there and things like that.
It's a Google Hangout for developers.
Yes. Down at, I'm trying to think, where would be the Denny's? Maybe not.
I don't know. There's a bunch of Denny's. Wait, are we talking about the restaurant Denny's?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Not the dude Denny. He's busy.
Yeah. There's people like that are drunk at E3 pointing to menu items on the Denny's item, like, I want this, and it's like, cool, sir, you just picked everything. Yes. Good.
So you can't order the whole menu. Why can't I? God damn it. So E3. Standout games, guys. What stood out to you, Rob?
Anthem has piqued my interest.
Yeah, I think Anthem's kind of piqued everyone's interest because it's the new Destiny killer. It's gonna kill Destiny.
No,
and the
I don't
Division.
think it is. I just like the look of it. I like the fact that they've borrowed from like Destiny. They borrowed from some might compare it to Division a little bit, and they borrowed from Iron Man.
Destiny?
Destiny, no.
Destiny, the management game.
Yes. It's a app you can get on your iPad.
That's right. It's
coming.
Arnold
It's not coming
Schwarzenegger will
till-
be promoting it next, just like Total War or whatever the fuck it is he's doing. Yes, prepare your enemy troops. It's like, good. Good.
But yeah, Anthem looks pretty cool. obviously the footage that they've shown is what 4K. Is it 60 frames? Or I ain't worried about that. But the graphics look pretty awesome. The world itself, pretty shit hot,
Huge.
and it's made by BioWare, which I have huge faith in, despite
You can say
how
it.
disappointed I was.
Andromeda.
Yeah, I was a bit disappointed, a lot disappointed in that, because like I got Luke into Mass Effect and Andromeda. I was like bigging it up, it's like, you gotta get this, blah blah blah. Picked it up, and it was just like, it felt, I don't know, it's just something was off about it, and
Half-assed because everyone else was working on Anthem.
yeah, I think that's the case. Well, if there's go read it. There's a Kotaku article out there somewhere. Basically, what happened with Mass Effect Andromeda. Jason Schreier, awesome guy, who actually does some really awesome gaming journalism. Not just here's a review or God knows what else. He actually goes out there and finds out what the hell's going on behind the doors at half these studios. And he basically said that the director of the Mass Effect trilogy was taken off and given a whole new team to work with. And then it was kind of like had problems and God knows what else. But does anybody think that the team that worked on Mass Effect, the trilogy, come on, they must have been working on Anthem.
I wouldn't put that out of any reach or grasp of our minds at this point, because I played the original trilogy, and I played it pretty much like to ridiculous levels, where I started just achievement hunting at one point, just because I was like, yeah, I'm gonna 1,000 point this game. And granted, I didn't 1,000 point any of the games because like, I don't want to go renegade, but I don't know, that there's definitely a different pace and tone in Andromeda than there was compared to the original trilogy. And like, everybody who was so hyped about Andromeda, and I did a My Morning Coffee this week where I talked about, you guys really need to temper your expectations about video games at E3. And like, Andromeda was like the number one game that I was like kind of, I don't want to say passive aggressively tweeting about, but pretty close in audio format. So, I mean, you guys can't expect every game that's coming out to be like, that looks really shiny, to come out and be like, yes, this is the game I want. But Andromeda is definitely that game, because like, I mean, you go through the pace of Mass Effect 1, which is basically KOTOR but in space with guns. Number 2 is more like a Gears of War inspired sort of thing, where there's cover based and skills and all that, and building a human Reaper, which is like the best like meme of that entire game. But and then Mass Effect 3 was just this thing where it was like, man, this is definitely more Gears of War. It's a little more edgier, a little more harder, and you have some serious choices that are going to affect your game from your last 2 playthroughs. So I was pretty happy that throughout my playthroughs of Mass Effect, I managed to get like the mega super happy ending, quote unquote, in 1 and 2. I only lost 1 logical character and 2 logical characters, if you're including the scientist, Solarian, and I did pretty freaking good. So, this Andromeda, I was like watching people play it and looking at it, and I'm just like, yeah, this isn't for me. Like, just immediately off the bat.
I don't know, because Rob, did you buy it? You bought it, didn't you? You played quite a bit of it.
Yeah, I sunk a lot of time into it, and then I stopped.
Put it this way, I'm playing I'm playing a very similar game at the minute. I know we're going off track a little bit. We're meant to be talking about Anthem, but I'm playing Zelda at the minute, and what I found in Mass Effect is like every time I landed on a planet, it was like, go here, do this, and you get like sidetracked along the way, but it wasn't fun. I don't know what maybe that was just me.
Chore.
I felt it was more of a chore doing these things than anything else. And maybe games like Destiny and The Division have killed my single player. I don't know.
Wanderlust.
Playing as and I was like, man, if they made Mass Effect Andromeda as a 3-player, that'd be awesome. Oh wait, that's just Destiny. But
or Anthem.
Or Anthem, yeah, back on track. But it's weird because I'm playing Zelda and it does exactly the same thing in Zelda. I get sidetracked. I'm like, what's up that mountain? I'll track like a mile, 2 miles to go up a mountain. There'll probably be nothing there, but there's a view and then there's like plants, and it's really weird how very similar, and I'm just like turned off by it. So I hope this game is the team that's worked on the Mass Effect trilogy. Me and Rob have both played Star Wars: The Old Republic on PC, and the story in that is pretty awesome. So I still have faith in them. You know, everyone could be let down a little bit by a game, but it's, you know, the Mass Effect game is enjoyable, Andromeda, and I will try and go back at some point. Anyway, that's enough about that. Anthem.
I'm just interested because they didn't like release any PvP information, whether there would be PvP in that game.
I'm seeing everybody jump on the Anthem bandwagon at the minute, but it's like you said today. Is it going to be a single player game, or is it end game content, as in an open, living, breathing world that will?
Is it going to be supported for 2-3 years? Yeah,
I think that's what you said.
Yeah, I hope so.
Kind of like a continuing Borderlands almost.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like the gold standard for me with these like shooter games, where it's like, you know, if I'm in a living, breathing world, are you basically taking Borderlands and like extending it like a MMO light sort of thing, like The Division or Destiny? Because if so, then sure, I'll play that. You know.
Remy, was there anything that stood out for you at E3? You were there this week, weren't you? Did you make it?
I did not actually physically go into the hallowed grounds, which are the E3. But I was near it when I had flown in, and we had thought about stopping by, but there wasn't enough time. So that's what my life is always about, time freaking management. But yeah, no, I mean, I watched a lot of the conferences and all that stuff, and, you know, Bethesda Land was neat. I'm not really interested in anything from the Bethesda conferences. It's okay. Fallout 4 for VR, neat. Doom for VRK, already knew. And, you know, it's kind of like a continuation of things that they've been kind of hinting and alligating to for a while. But Assassin's Creed Origins, that's what I'm interested in. But like the big hype moment for me, which even took me away from my tempered expectations mode, was Skull and Bones, because that is made by the people.
Wait.
What?
Wait. You mean Assassin's Creed Black Flag 2?
Yes, but with PvP, which that was like the thing that got me, because I'm like, oh, this is so freaking gimmicky. Ubisoft Singapore, what are you doing right now? And it's like, these are the guys that did Black Flag. Black Frag.
Black Frag.
It's like I had a piece of Frito in my mouth. Sorry.
I'm glad you said it and not me, because I swear I was going to say that.
Oh, man. I'm Bruce Reed. I have a black belt. But yeah, no, I saw that trailer, and like I immediately at first was like, okay, yeah, I played this game before. And then all of a sudden they went into like the PvP thing where you're going up against other pirates for loot. And like, first off, I thought of the Dark Zone. Second off, my immediate thoughts were, as soon as he said, now watch this ship block the other ship from the cannons that are about to fire on it because they have the most loot. And I was like, oh my God, look at how cool that is and how tactical it is. And like, that is the thing that like nailed me right there. I'm like, that was the game that I wanted to play with like my brother, like, you know, be in the same team of pirates going around and looting everything. And I was like, holy shit, this is the thing. Like, this is the thing I'm going to sink so much time into. And I can't wait for that game to come out. And like, I'm actually hyped up about something, which goes to tell you that something is wrong here. But it looks fantastic.
Yeah, I agree. I immediately thought it's the DZ in boats on the sea.
I did see Dave's comment, Deep Fried Dave, who's awesome, but I'm pretty sure he said something along the lines of, I watched the trailer, it looked really good, and then there was PvP, and I was like, oh. Because I know he's not a huge fan of going rogue or PvP, and not sure in general, but yeah. It's it looks, the graphics were amazing. I really hope it doesn't get a downgrade, because we've seen that a lot in Ubisoft games in recent times. Anyone that's followed trying to think, Ghost Recon and The Division, since they were first shown at E3, they tend to have a graphics downgrade.
Yeah,
can't get my words out.
I was like
consolified.
Super kind of interested in like Sea of Thieves, but like that interest that I had, that wanton interest that was in the back of my brain to play a pirate, is just gone because of Skull and Bones now. And that was like such a smart move by them to use that gameplay from Black Flag and I guess it was in Rogue and like Assassin's Creed 3 too. I didn't play Rogue, but I played Assassin's Creed 3. So, that ship stuff was my favorite part in those two games, and like going around on the map and Black Flag trying to take out all like the the really famous garrisons and stuff like that. Like especially the twins. Like I did the twins on my first try, and I was like, oh my god, I beat the twins on my first try. And I'm hoping to get a lot of those kind of moments from doing this. Like even if it is just like kind of repetition in ship combat, I'm still going to have fun with it. Because that was what I did in Black Flag. I was like, I'm going to go around and see how many ships I could piss off Grand Theft Auto style, and if I live. And that was the best part for me. Like, I mean, stealth and AC and all that, but, ship battles.
I just wish they'd given it a slightly better name, but they could always change it to Battleship Pirate Edition.
No, that's really bad. Shut up.
Don't they own that from the Hasbro
Okay.
Game Night, or is that somebody else?
Maybe somebody might. I don't know. Obviously, Destiny 2 was more Destiny stuff.
Have you seen the 4K 60 frames per second footage? It looks amazing.
No, but we had confirmation that it won't be 60 frames per second on a new console that was announced over the weekend, which was the console with the best name, the Triple Xbox.
The X gonna give it to you box.
That's the one.
Bone X.
The bone X gonna bone you.
Oh no.
Times 10.
X gonna go to jail for that.
Damn.
One of the many times
But,
that Earl
yeah.
DMX Simmons has been arrested, especially for attempting to impersonate a federal officer to steal a car from an airport. But anyway, that's a whole different story.
That awkward moment. But I was gonna say that's not what I want to see in 4K 60 frames per second though, Rob.
What do you want to see in 4K?
Minecraft, man.
Oh,
that face. No, I'm only messing.
it did look
Trying
good
to
though. To be fair.
To be honest, I haven't really been drawn to that much that came out of E3 this year. I've kind of been on the Nintendo train. This E3,
Yeah,
really
I've got a Switch. Yeah, me.
looking forward to like what they bring out. Yeah, to be fair, but like everyone's like, oh, they haven't got any games, nothing's coming out for it, blah blah blah, and then they kind of do have a load of games coming out for it, and they look pretty cool. Mario Rabbids Kingdom Battle, aka XCOM.
XCOM,
Thing is, Mike,
Mario Unknown.
Yes.
A lot of those games were like, we're making this game. Like they've said they're making Pokemon, but they're just like, we're making it. They haven't told you when it's coming out.
Yeah, true.
There was a lot of that. from Nintendo.
There is that, but you've got Yoshi, aka Yoshi Little Big Planet Edition.
Yeah.
You've got Skyrim's coming to the Switch.
With the Breath of the Wild
You gonna get
skin
that?
amiibo support.
Yes. You got Super Mario Odyssey, which apparently is absolutely huge. You've got there's a Metroid game, Xenoblade Chronicles or something like that.
Kirby.
Yeah, Kirby. Kirby looks awesome. 4-player Kirby. And a shitload of DLC for Zelda as well. So, fair play to them for getting all those out. But I would have said the standout game for this podcast in general would be The Crew 2.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say that as well. Kind of need to eat my own words, don't I? It looks really good.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, if you've not seen the trailer for The Crew 2, we never played the first one. We were like, well, if The Crew gets a sequel, The Division must get a sequel.
They've redone it, and it looks good.
Really good.
Like
Yeah,
you can,
fair play to the team
yeah.
making that.
I am
that looks
Totally
absolutely awesome.
uninterested in that game, and I saw the trailer. Like, I thought it was cool that you could do the boats and the planes and stuff, but if I kind of want that experience, it kind of already exists in GTA 5. So that was
True.
kind of like my
Sure.
thing. Do I
I
really
mean-
want to spend money on a game where I can go around and do that sort of stuff? And it's like, I don't know.
No, fair enough. I mean, I'll be honest, I probably won't pick it up because I don't really play racing games and things like that anymore. I would play them for about a week and then that would probably be it. But
Just sign up
for
for the
anyone
beta.
if you're a fan of those sort of games, definitely check it out. And then we had first-person shooters. So I don't know if you guys have seen any footage from Call of Duty World at War. Well, it's not World at War 2, but it might as well be World War 2. Any thoughts?
Yeah, I've been done with Call of Duty for a long time, my man.
There with you.
It's like Call of Duty and Battlefield. I played so many of both those games that at this point it's just become kind of more of a chore. Like I loved Battlefield 1942 and like even Vietnam I played a lot of, and I was kind of competitive with that. But Call of Duty, after Ghost hit, I was like, I'm done playing Call of Duty at this point. And I love Ghost. I just didn't want to. Or no, was it Ghost? No, I'm thinking of Black Ops 2. I'm sorry, Ghost.
Yeah,
Ghost was the one I didn't like. But yeah, after Black Ops 2, I was just kind of done. Like I have no interest in Call of Duty anymore or that franchise, unfortunately.
No, it's fair enough. Rob?
No, I might buy it just for the main game. I probably won't play the multiplayer though, because I do not have the reflexes anymore. Too old.
Yeah, it's a downside. But I was going to say, anybody waiting to play a World War game, go play Battlefront because it's fucking awesome. But yeah, it does look good. The graphics look good. It'll probably be smaller maps, so there's a chance it might be at 60 frames per second. I'm guessing. I don't know. I don't think anything's been confirmed. And then Star Wars Battlefront 2 was announced, or showcased, I should say. Yeah. It looks pretty damn good. I'm not immediately drawn to it, and I'm definitely going to wait for reviews on this one. We actually started a podcast, and we covered the first one a little bit, and it was kind of a bit of a letdown with regards to Battlefront when it first came out. So I really hope they pull out all the stops on this one.
All they have to do in Battlefront is like keep Duel of the Fates from episode 1, the only good part of the prequels. Like Duel of the Fates, just keep that song in every map, and I'll play, I guess. But that's about it. But yeah, I mean, Battlefront was one of those. It was okay. It was just kind of super mediocre for what I thought it was going to be, and I was excited because I'm like, oh look, it's Battlefield, but the Star Wars edition. I'm like, okay, I'm on Hoth. All right, I feel nostalgic. Okay, I'm all right with this. And then eventually, I just never turned it back on my Xbox. So
yeah, it's funny how quick that nostalgism goes away.
Nostalgism.
It's a new word.
What other games can you think of?
Trying to think. Have we said South Park and the Fractured Butthole?
Yeah, but that's been announced ages ago.
Yep.
I don't care.
You're just still obsessed with that game. But Metro looked good.
Metro looked fucking good. I'm very tempted to pick up Metro Redux for PS4.
You should. It's fantastic looking.
Yeah. I'm not sure how difficult it is because I'll probably just slap on the easiest difficulty just to get through it, because I'm finding with games with single player content, if I stick it on certain difficulties, I never get through it because you're trying to keep on top of other games at the same time. So, but it looks awesome. It looks to be open world. I think were the previous ones underground in Russia or something like that. Is that right?
Something like that. I mean, you're going through basically like a post-apocalyptic world.
Poker rock over here.
Yeah. George Stephanopoulos. But yeah, no, I mean that Metro is always like, it's one of those games that kind of remind me of Crisis, where it's just so stupid pretty looking, and hopefully you can run it. It's kind of like when the hunters from South Park are like, hey, it's a bear and it's coming right for us. You really need that computer that can come right for you, so you can kind of manipulate it, or the device. Like a lot of the console versions get dumbed down pretty much, but Metro looked really good still for a console version. So
what happened to Crisis, man? It disappeared.
God, Crytek weren't paying their employees for a while. So like there were periods of time where they were getting loans or doing something with the Cry engine there, and nobody was getting paid for anything that they were working on. I think they actually shut down the studio. I forgot. It's been a while since I followed that stuff like more rapidly than I did. But yeah, no, last I heard, like nobody was getting paid and people were really worried about it. So they may have shut down for good.
Yeah, it's a shame because like we played the hell out of like Crisis 2. I must admit, I don't even think I bothered picking up Crisis 3.
I had it on PC.
Yeah.
I always feel bad when we lose the studio too, because like you don't really feel bad about the studio, like for nostalgia's sake. You feel bad about the people that helped make the thing that you played, and that's why a lot of us are always like, if you're enjoying the thing, you have to think about how many people like were happy that they were a part of this. It's like, go back to the Ubisoft E3 conference. The dude was crying when he got introduced by Miyamoto and or Eves rather, and it's just like, this is crazy. That dude had tears in his eyes because he was so proud of what he made. And like, that's the thing you have to remember when you're being a dickhead about video games on the internet. A bunch of people made that shit. So try and remember that,
Yeah, it's not just one person. The fact is, like, I know we've said it before, like these people, and even, the people that are working on the game that we all talk about every week and all play and are like, why haven't you got this fixed? And blah, blah, blah. People are working so many hours to do what they love at the end of the day, and they're not getting paid for it at the end of the day for like all the extra time that they spend, and it's like weekends and not spending time with family to for the sake of the players, for the sake of the game, because they love what they do, and then people go out there and shit on it straight away, which kind of we joke about the crew, but fair play to anybody who loved that game, and it might not be something we play. But
graphically it looks just fantastical, and that's not my thing. Like, I kind of poignantly said, oh look, Forza added more cars, there's 700 of them now, if you're into that. And I'm not into racing games. That's always been my thing. So
any more? I would have said Detroit Becoming Human. Anyone check that out?
Yeah, that looks interesting. Like
guys behind Heavy Rain and is it really? Beyond Two Souls?
Okay.
Yeah. David Cage.
It reminds me of like Heavy Rain. An Isaac Asimov Robots novel almost, where like the robots are trying to like rise up because they want to be people too. So that's kind of cool.
Yeah, I can't remember what he said. E3 press conference. They were going through like some game play footage for it, and he was on about he was reading a book at the same time as writing the script. And obviously, when you read certain things, it kind of bleeds into it. And I don't think it was Asimov, but it was somebody within that kind of vein.
I would really hope it's Philip K. Dick, because that was that whole Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep, which became Blade Runner. And there was like a lot of that where the 4 replicants that were from Mars or the moon or whatever were trying to just be free and not property. And that was kind of their whole story. Like, even though they were killing people, you kind of still felt bad for them because they had a very short lifespan and they just wanted to be free for the last years of their life, So.
Yeah, I tell you what, I'm looking forward to Blade Runner 2. Hopefully it's good.
They got the gas.
They got the guards. Yeah.
We'll see. Beyond Good and Evil.
Yeah, Beyond Good and Evil 2. I freaking called it when they announced it. It was like 50. I was guessing to anybody else that was in my game chat at the time. I was like, it must have been like 15 years since that first game came out. And they were like, it's been 15 years since the previous game. Yeah, that was such a good game when it first came out. Remy, have you played that, man?
I have. It is a good game. The second one I'm not really sure about. It's a prequel, right? And it's supposed to be like the precursor story almost.
Yeah. It sounds like it's been in development hell. I guess we'll just have to see. But it looks damn good. But it's obviously made by Ubisoft, but it's also running on a certain engine developed by Massive.
Snowdrop.
Yes.
I saw that and I immediately said, "Oh, are they showing off Avatar the game?" No, I'm just kidding.
To be honest, I did exactly the same thing as a joke. I was like, "Oh, there's no way there's a freaking trailer." And then I saw
they didn't show any gameplay footage though. It was just all cutscene.
But the fact they can get that amount of detail on the Snowdrop engine.
Yes,
got some high hopes for Division 2 when we get it.
It makes you kind of wonder like what that engine's capable of in current Division 2, because like I kind of sit there and I wonder, can it do this? Can it do that? And like, I mean, graphically it looks like it can do a lot, man. Like, I just don't know anything about the physics of it. So
well, I can't remember the name of the game, but they've managed to get the Snowdrop engine, I think, was running on Switch as well.
Huh.
Did you see that? It was like an amiibo, like spacecraft, kind of looked like Destiny. I thought it was Destiny on this, like a Destiny style game on the Switch. I was like, what the hell is that? And it's basically it's like Skylanders, but with
Oh,
amiibos.
yeah, it was Star something.
Yeah.
It reminded me of in the US back in, I think, the late 80s or early 90s, we had this stupid toy called Captain Power. And it was like a VHS tape that came with your TV, but it came with like a plane with like a pew pew trigger button on it. And you could literally shoot the enemies that were flying at you. And then like Captain Power came out. He's like, you did a good job. And, you know, it's like, cool. But it kind of reminds me of that. And I jokingly said that in the chat, and I had to explain what I was talking about to like 30 different people and show a link of the actual thing. So just look up
And they're like, what?
Captain Power toy. You'll see what I'm talking about on the internet. But it very much reminds me of that. So I was like, cool.
Anything else before we close off?
Spider-Man.
Yes. There's a lot of quick time events in that, but it looks freaking awesome.
A lot of
It looks
snark.
like that, though.
Sorry, dude.
It's got a lot of snark too. That Peter Parker dialogue was pretty legit. It's like that young,
it's on point by like
that young Peter Parker, trying to figure out his sense of humor at that point. You know. Before Deadpool became so big, and then Spider-Man was kind of like making almost Deadpool jokes, but more family friendly. But yeah, it's kind of interesting. It looks like it could be a lot of fun, but I think the last Spider-Man game I actually played was the one where you could play as Spider-Man 2099 or whatever, and like that.
I'm thinking Shattered Dimensions.
Yes, Shattered Dimensions.
Yeah.
That was my favorite one because you're fighting like female Doc Ock or whatever, and they're like, "Yo, I don't know if you understand this, but this part is the reason why all this is." And he's like, "Oh, that's the part that does the thing." Meh. It's like cool.
I guess it's made by Insomniac. The guys behind like Ratchet and Clank and Resistance franchise.
Yeah.
I wish they'd bring that back. But yeah, it looks really, really good. Obviously, everything showcased is, you know, on Xbox One X and PS4 Pro. But that is actually, Spider-Man's exclusive to PS4, as far as I'm... No, that's right?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's it. Far Cry 5, it looks pretty good. I probably won't play it. It's just open world games. I can't stick to it, even though I'm playing an open world game.
Man,
doesn't really make much
escape
sense.
that Assassin's Creed Origins, because that looks a lot like it's Breath of the Wild, but Assassin's Creed style, or even like Darksiders, but Assassin's Creed style. And I'm actually kind of excited.
Yeah, I must admit, this might actually be the first Assassin's Creed I pick up since Brotherhood, so I'm very interested. Rob, sorry, dude.
The new Middle-earth game looks pretty good as well.
Shadow of War.
Yeah.
Brad, a good friend of ours, he cannot wait for this to drop. I didn't play the first one. Was the first one any good?
I don't know.
I know a lot of people enjoyed it.
Shadow of Mordor?
Yeah.
That game was fantastic for the Nemesis system alone. That was really, really fucking cool the way that they did that, where you basically could like mark one of your targets and then have them go back to like their boss or whatever, and you could like inhabit that person and like stab the boss. And like, I mean, there's so many cool things they did with that game that were very, very groundbreaking. It was like the best Assassin's Creed game I ever played. Like, no disrespect to Ubisoft, but like that was probably the best Assassin's Creed styled game I've ever played in my life, outside of probably Brotherhood. Well, Brotherhood I played mostly for multiplayer, but yeah, I guess Black Flag. But you know, I really like a lot of the systems that they did in place, because a lot of people thought that game was a joke when like it was first coming out, and then all of a sudden it became this huge darling like amongst gamers, and it's
yeah,
really
everybody
worth it.
loves that now. Yeah, I might actually have to play it, but then I also need to play Black Flag and God knows what else, I guess.
You play Black Flag, I'll play with you to do the multiplayer achievements. I love multiplayer in that game.
I've still got bloody Dying Light to play as well. I've still got to finish bloody Dark Souls 3. Come on. I really wanted Dark Souls 1 announced for the Switch. That would have been awesome. If you can get Skyrim on there, get freaking Dark Souls on there.
Yeah.
I think final ones that stood out to me, probably Code Vein. It's already been announced, but seeing it there as well was pretty cool. It's talking about Dark Souls. It's very similar to that. I think it's like vampires instead or something. Cuphead, which looks like an old like 1960s cartoon. Have you seen that?
Yeah.
It looks awesome.
Yeah, it does look cool.
It looks like something from like the Disney backlot.
Yeah.
And Evil Within 2. I didn't play the first one, but apparently it's really good. And the second one looks like, if you've seen Hannibal or some kind of like, or American Gods, it looks like something in that kind of vein, I would have said.
That dark stuff.
Mm.
Still with that little pig sense of humor.
Yeah, it looks freaking awesome. I think that's it.
Shadow of Colossus. That looks
Shadow
good
of
as well.
Colossus, yes. They did a full-on... They're doing a full-on remake, aren't they? Or is it like HD upgrade for it? For PS4.
I'm not sure.
It looks pretty good. Yeah, I think I saw a comparison video from the... Was it PS2 version? To that, and yeah, it looks really good. But so... I never got a chance to play it the first time around, so might have to check it out.
Really, not to step on your toes while we're dancing here. The last thing that we should probably bring up, just for the fact that this is a thing now, is Monster Hunter is going to be on consoles outside of like the Wii and the Wii U. I mean, this is kind of a big fucking deal for gamers. Like, even if though it might just be like a reskin Monster Hunter 5, like people are speculating, still kind of huge, because I played Monster Hunter on 3DS, PSP, like, I mean, I played it throughout the years. Like, this is one of those games that, you know, I sat down and I'm like, this is what I'm going to do today, because I have a limited amount of time, so I can go and hunt these things, make myself new armor. And it's just like, you know, it's kind of like one of those games, but you'll be able to play with your friends online, and it's on PS4, and I don't know if it's on Xbox too, but it was on PS4's conference.
Yeah, and talk about Monster Hunter. They've got Monster Hunter, is it Double X?
Yep.
Coming to Switch. The only downside, I think we found out, was it today or yesterday, was they're not localizing it for North America. So I don't know if that's at the minute, or if they're just going to leave it as it is as a Switch game in Japan. That would completely suck if it does.
People will find a way
to go that route.
Because if there are Phantasy Star Online translations out there, I'm sure someone can figure out how to do it on a Nintendo for Monster Hunter, even if you have to hack the Switch. But people find a way.
Yeah, it's just I can understand like the time and money that goes into it, but like you said, like people do this because they love they localize it because they love the game. So what, you know, I don't know. I just don't understand why you wouldn't localize it, especially with it being one of your biggest franchises coming to the Switch as well.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think that's it for E3 discussion.
It was
pretty good. Light switch or something. But yeah, I think that's it. I think, you know, there's a lot of talk about who won E3 this year with regards to like games and consoles, and things like that. I think everybody won. There's a lot of good games out there, and you know, definitely go check them out.
Personally, I watched the whole of the Xbox Expo, and it was good. But I think that's because they had a new console. The Sony one was. I don't know. It just felt like it was missing something. I don't know.
Yeah, well, I know Sony have since come out saying that all their exclusives will probably be shown at PSX later in the year, in November.
They're changing the way they publicize things, aren't they? They're doing it closer to Christmas or some shit.
They're doing what Disney do with Comic-Con.
Doing our own thing.
Yeah, they do their own thing. Remy, any closing thoughts on E3?
Yeah, I know that this is a podcast based on a game made by Ubisoft Studio, but of the conferences I watched, it was probably the most enjoyable. PlayStation did the thing where they finally just showed us just the games, and I kind of missed some of like the dumb, goofy commentary that would be like between things or between segments, and that kind of was a little off-putting for me because I'm so used to it. But like every year, we're like, yeah, show us games, and Sony's kind of like, yeah, here's all the games, and it's like, huh. I'm like, first 5 minutes, they needed Lucio, the audio medic, to fix their streaming sounds. And then after that, it's just like cool game after game after game after game after game. Where, you know, I think they probably could have used like a 5-10 minute intermission where they could have had somebody talk to kind of hype it up a little bit more. Kind of like when Ja Rule was DMX's hype man back in the day. For those of you who don't know, that's how Ja Rule got a start in rap. And, you know, PlayStation really needed that dope Ja Rule who shouldn't have gone on to have a rap career, but should have been there to get us pumped, you know?
bringing out the PlayStation. But yeah, that's one thing PlayStation did do this year was just game after game. They finally did what fans want, and yeah.
Yeah, I missed the Adam Boyd stuff. I mean, he's not there anymore. He works for Iron Galaxy now, but I still missed him on stage, talking about whatever goofy shit was going on with Destiny and the new Galar horde that he'd be pumped up for. And there wasn't any of that. There was barely any revelry. It was just games, so it was weird. That's all.
I think before we do go, one game I did probably forget about, which I know Luke would probably kill me for, is Days Gone.
Oh yeah,
the motorbike zombie game.
Oh, with Zombear.
Yeah,
Walking Dead the game.
Yeah, Walking Dead. You play as Daryl. It looks really good. But are they using the Uncharted engine? Because it looks so similar to Uncharted.
Yeah.
It does look very similar, but the thing that we need to take away from this, and as you made the Daryl Dixon reference, we have to point out that this man was not sprayed down with any water bottles to look as moist as Daryl Dixon does on The Walking Dead. So,
that is very true.
Be thankful, and also Zombear for president.
Agreed. And that's our E3 discussion for this year, I guess. Before we leave, just one more thing. The head of Ubisoft was asked why we didn't see any of the Clancy games at E3 this year. And he said, I think it was something along the lines of stuff is being worked on, but also people are still playing The Division and Siege. So fingers crossed we see something next year at E3 2018.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway. This week's idea for Massive is over to you this week, Rob.
Yeah, right. So I thought this quite a while ago, so I might have to remind myself of a few things. It's basically in the Dark Zone, once every, I don't know, it doesn't really matter time-wise, but every 2 hours or something, you'll get a random weapon drop from either a Dark Zone key chest, killing a boss, getting a supply drop, or contamination event. This weapon will be a big heavy weapon, and will disable your ability to run. And this weapon will be OP as fuck. I thought of 3 weapons that they could use. Well, they could just pick one, but I thought one could be a flamethrower, one could be a rocket launcher or grenade launcher, and one could be like a minigun. And when you pick this weapon up, you are then shown to everyone on the DZ map. They know exactly where you are, and you basically just have to slog it out and survive with that weapon. And once you drop it, it's gone.
Cool. So how would we? Obviously, you said the locations of getting the weapon. So how would it actually spawn? Would it be very similar to supply drops, or
it would just be just like a random, one person in your team might randomly get it if you're farming, and you open a DZ box, for instance, and you just get it, and you're then turned into basically a big tank NPC. So you can't run very fast. So you're forced to stand and fight. So if you go, everyone's going to try and come and kill you. So you're going to have to go manhunt, but you also can't run away.
What if it turned you maybe not rogue, but it basically it made you like a HVT in the Dark Zone?
Oh yeah, it basically everyone in the Dark Zone can see you and know where you are. Puts a blip on the map.
Kind of like
Remy,
Evolve, almost where you're hunting the monster, but you're the monster at that point.
Yeah,
that'd be interesting. I'd actually like to see it if you killed one of the world bosses or whatever. Kind of like the Highlander, you gain their power. You run over something, and it's all of a sudden, you have a flamethrower, which doesn't exist in the game for us to use as of yet, or I don't know if they're even working on that. Because that would be just so. Yeah,
but they're in the game. The flamethrower and the grenade launcher are both in the game. We just can't use them.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
And if you became a world boss and it was kind of a skin of Lorraine Barrett, do you also gain her potty mouth as her power, Highlander style? What goes on with that? Can you go into that a little bit more? I'm interested.
You get her eating habits for sure. I'm trying to think. Like, would it be transferable between players?
No.
Or
Once you're dead, that's it. It's gone. Disappeared next 2 hours. Then it respawns again randomly. And there wouldn't be any loot attached to it. It's just for fucking fun.
So seems we use Destiny as a reference so much. What would it be the closest thing to in Destiny?
Like a relic, I guess.
Relic
or a sword.
What was or the relic or swords that disappear after like a certain amount of time. Yeah.
Or that stupid rocket launcher where Barracks is yelling at you, use rocket launcher. Yes,
I was gonna say I can't remember what it is.
The sledge gun or sludge gun.
The cannons.
Skeg cannon. I don't remember.
Yeah.
God, I hope I didn't say
Scorch
like a really...
cannons.
Scorch cannons, that's it. Yes. Yeah, it's a good idea. And it kind of just promotes just general more activity in the dark zone, like you said.
Yeah, and it would create conflict. No more chicken dances.
I like the idea of the fact that you can't actually run anywhere with it either. So it forces you to stand and fight. I'd kind of like it to give your team a little bit of a buff. Not a buff, but maybe like a defense buff, if that makes any sense. So like, or maybe increase stamina in your group, so they like literally stay with you and fight.
Yeah, but remember these weapons are going to be OP as fuck. Like, so they're going to try and keep you alive, and you're just going to mow people down.
Interesting. I'm trying to think of ways you would be able to take something like that out. I suppose that's the whole point.
Yeah.
The minute you get like someone with OP weapon on the map, you're going to have to try and...
Obviously, you probably put a time limit on that weapon. Or like, if you die, basically. I mean, it could like increase your toughness, like the person holding it, I guess, artificially. Because you basically turn it into a boss tank, aren't you? So...
I think if you would turn yourself into a boss, like basically you turn yourself into a Dark Zone boss.
Yeah.
I think you should, like the other players potentially should get a reward for killing you if they do manage to take you down.
No.
Not even increased DZ funds or something like that.
No, nothing. Just for shits and giggles.
No, fair play. Any more thoughts on that, Ram?
Not really. I like the idea of it. It just sounds like a game mode. Like, I don't think they would implement that in a live DZ. Like, I think that would be like, game mode number 4 or whatever if they ended up doing that. I mean, it's a great idea. Like, I'd love to become like a world boss and kind of troll people further, which is my family's custom, trolling. It's a long line of trolls. Trolling.
I come from a long line of trolls.
My father is an accountant who's a troll. I'm a troll just like my father, and my son is the biggest Overwatch troll on the planet. So, anything that would help for like creating more funsies is always interesting. I just don't know if that could be implemented in the Dark Zone. I mean, it's a cool idea though. Yeah.
It's, like you said, Robert's using assets that's already in the game. So
yeah, because the fact that you drop something when you die, that's mechanic is already in the game. The two of the weapons that I named were already in the game. Obviously, they're not used by us, but they're in the game. They don't really need to balance them very well because they're supposed to be OP.
Hopefully they create like a world boss that's like one of the rioters with like a shield and like golf club, and like you can become him, because I would kill to do that. Like be 28 days later fast and hit people over the head with a golf club. Like I'd be all about that shit.
No, that's awesome, dude. Maybe add a crossbow as well.
Oh, yes.
Like your dad said the other week. Anyway, that's this week's Ideas for Massive, or IFM. Right, I think that's the show for this week as well, guys. Remy, thank you so much for joining us this week. I know you're busy and Luke's away, so thank you very much for helping us cover him his absence.
Thank you,
dude. Where can they find you?
Thank you for letting me ramble on this show. First off, and secondly, you can find me on the internets at Twitter mainly, or YouTube at Rempancy, Rempancy. Why? Because I like you. There you go.
And we love your ramblings, dude. So
yeah,
you can welcome anytime.
Just wait till Bombshell Jackets this week. You'll all hate me. No, I'm just kidding. It'll be fun.
Are you guys recording this week?
Yeah, we're gonna do it tonight.
Awesome. So check out Bombshell Jackets as well when they release. Robert, where can listeners find us?
You can find us at Super Radio on Twitter and Facebook. Send questions and feedback for the show to superradiopod@gmail.com or tweet us with the hashtag TeamSitRep, as we are all affiliated with that hashtag. Can I just give a quick shout out to Shade Tech Radio as well? I listened to their podcast this week. It's really good. And they gave me a shout out.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
Shout out to DSP and I can't remember the name of the other dude that's running it. You remember?
Is it Denty?
No, Ginty.
No, not Denty. No, something like that.
Ginty, it's the guy who runs the Division forums, right?
Yeah, Division forums, dude.
I know it's the guy that runs the Division forums, but yeah, shout out to both of them because I know they both support us and a lot of the other people in our community. So, congrats on the show so far, man. And yes, you can find SITREP Radio on the following platform. I can't do Luke's voice. iTunes, Apple Podcasts on iOS devices, Luke's favorite line, Google Play Music, SoundCloud, Overcast, Stitcher, Player.fm, Pocket Cast, RSS feed. And while you're there, subscribe, rate, and give us a review. That'd be awesome, guys.
That's so bad.
I know. Make sure to check out Mash Those Buttons over on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and check out the other podcasts on the Mash Those Buttons network.
And don't forget, this episode will be in video form on YouTube, and there will also be an IFM at some point next week when Mike can be asked.
So it was a bit late this week. I was running Overwatch for I was trying to get that sweet Bastion skin, and I didn't get it. Anyway, shout out to Sean Winder over on the Division Elites Facebook page for allowing us to post our podcast up there. That has been the show for this week. Thank you for listening, agents, and we'll catch you in the dark zone.
Everybody always gets my stuttering
Bye-bye.
when I'm on their shows. Like, this is the third show in 2 weeks where somebody started stuttering like they're me, and I'm like, oh my god, what am I doing to you?
You're so gonna cack someone in the dark zone later.
Take that, you cat.
We'll epic hack you in the dark zone.
I'm gonna end it there.
Bye.